going to call a meeting to order. Let's get started by just standing for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Corinne, can you read the statement of certification of the meeting, please?
The meeting has been advertised according to sunshine law.
We have a reorganization. Deputy Chief Corbo is to be sworn in. Our attorney would like to do that.
Okay, so if you could repeat after me, I, and then state your name.
I, Gerard Corbo,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments established
to the same and to the governments established
in the United States and in this state,
in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
Okay. I, and then state your name,
I, Gerard Corbo,
do further solemnly swear or affirm
do further solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of the office of Planning Board
all the duties of the office of Planning Board
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
If we just have a brief moment of silence. Last month, we lost a former mayor and councilman, Messina, and our manager here, Frank DiLorenzo. His mom just passed away recently. Thank you. Corinne, could you please call the roll?
Yes. Chairman Venero,
Here.
Mayor Melham, Mr. Zangari,
Here.
Mr. Conti, Mr. Banda,
Here.
Mr. Bove, Mr. Corbo,
Here.
Mr. Graziano,
Here.
Ms. Guaman,
Here.
Ms. Rico, Ms. Inaugurato,
Here.
Mr. Guayens,
Here.
Mr. DiLorenzo, Mr. Harretts,
Here.
and Ms. Kopp.
Present.
Could I have a motion for the approval of the minutes for the August 13th, 2020 meeting?
Motion.
Someone like to second it?
Second.
Do you have a roll call?
Corinne, please call the roll.
Chairman Venero,
Yes.
Mr. Banda,
Yes.
Mr. Bove, Mr. Corbo, Mr. Corbo.
Take no part.
Okay. Mr. Graziano,
Here. Yes.
Ms. Inaugurato, Mr. Zangari,
Yes.
Ms. Guaman,
Yes.
and Mr. Guayens.
Yes.
Brian?
Under old business, we have resolutions to be memorialized.
Ray? Does anybody
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes, on the roll call, I have to vote no because I did not receive any minutes. I want to make sure that's corrected.
Okay, I heard, yes, I heard you said no, right?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
We have resolutions to be memorialized. PB 2006, 450, 452 Washington Avenue, Block 8905, Lot 7 and 8. Approval to demo existing structures and construct the 4-story mixed-use building with first-floor retail and 14 units. Karen, call the roll.
Yes. Chairman Venero,
Yes.
Mr. Vanda,
Yes.
Mr. Bove. He said yes. Mr. Graziano,
Yes.
Ms. Inaugurato,
Yes.
Mr. Zangari,
yes,
Mr. Guyen's.
Yes.
Next up, we have PB 2009, 527-535 Union Avenue, Block 6503, Lot 23. Preliminary and final site plan approval to construct a 3-story mixed-use building with retail on the first floor and 20 dwelling units above. Karen, please call the roll.
Chairman Venero,
Yes.
Mr. Vanda,
Yes.
Mr. Bove,
Yes.
Mr. Graziano,
Yes.
Ms. Guaman,
Yes.
Ms. Inaugurato,
Yes.
Mr. Zangari,
yes,
Mr. Guyen's.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have new business. We have applications before the board. First up is PB 2911, 695-701 Mill Street, Block 1604, Lot 11. The Township of Belleville is proposing a minor subdivision to permit a sitting park on the subdivided portion of the premises. Are we ready?
Yes, this is Steve Martino on behalf of the Township of Belleville. Yes, we're ready to proceed. I can't hear you, Mr. Venero.
I said proceed.
Okay, thank you. Just briefly, this is a minor subdivision of 650 Mill Street. It's block 1604, lot 11. I have Mr. Harris here as a witness, but I will briefly set the stage. This is a minor subdivision of a piece of property that is already being used and has been used by the township for a number of years for what's known as the Soho Sitting Park. The owner of the property at 1604, block 1604, lot 11, gave permission to use the property and has consented to this application. I now ask Mr. Harris, who will describe the subdivision and the nature of it. Mr. Harris?
Yes, do I need to be sworn in?
Yeah, I would believe so.
Mr. Hurwitz, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Just for the record, it's Tom Harritz. I'm the township engineer, also a professional and licensed professional engineer, professional land surveyor, and professional planner in the state of New Jersey. Corinne, did everyone get the map?
Everyone did get the subdivision map,
Okay,
yes.
So if you're looking at the subdivision map, the portion that the township wants to take over is the most westerly portion of that lot. If you see the map, you'll see there's some small minor encroachments of the Soho City Park on that property, and there is an existing vinyl fence that kind of splits the existing property, and that's where we're going to put the subdivision line. So it's a minor subdivision. The remaining lot where the house is will still have over 5,000 square feet. And what we're taking is approximately 2,100 square feet. That property, as you know, is being used by the Soho Sitting Park. It's really unusable by the owner because of its narrowness and proximity to Mill Street and Harrison Street. So it kind of makes sense that the township take that over and make everything right. If there's any questions, I'll answer them.
Nothing's going to change, Tom. The layout of the park's going to remain the same, correct?
Yes, everything will remain the same, yes.
And Tom, there doesn't affect the setbacks as well, correct?
Correct. It doesn't add any bulk variances to the existing home on the remaining lot.
Any members of the board have a question or comment they'd like to make? If no member of the board, does anybody in the public have a question or comment? If there's no question or comments, Tom, I guess, are you done?
Yes, if there's no other further questions, I'm finished, yes, with the testimony.
Okay. So I guess would someone like to make a motion for the approval of the subdivision?
I'll make the motion for the approval.
I'll second it.
Please call the roll.
Chairman Venero,
Yes.
Mr. Vanda,
Yes.
Mr. Bove,
Yes.
Mr. Corbo,
Yes.
Mr. Graziano,
Yes.
Ms. Glauman,
Yes.
Ms. Inalberato,
Yes.
Mr. Zangari,
yes.
Mr. Guyen's.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Next up, we have PB 2007, 229 Main Street, Block 2502, Lots 17 and 20. The applicant Dorso Realty Group is proposing a minor subdivision to create 3 lots from the 2 existing lots by creating a lot line between the shopping center and commercial structures.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman. If I could enter my appearance?
Yes.
My name is Darrell Sis. I'm the attorney for the applicant. Teshawn Rickabine and Sis, 327 Godwin Avenue, Midland Park. We have submitted an application along with an addendum in the checklist. We have also submitted a subdivision plan prepared by George Anderson. It's dated 6/1, June 1st. You should all have a copy of that. That was submitted at paper copies and also in electronic format as required for these new Zoom meetings. It was deemed a minor subdivision by Mr. Di Lorenzo's correspondence, and we have noticed and published in accordance with your requirements, and the proper affidavit was submitted. I assume that's all in order. Just a real brief overview, and my client, Mr. Dorso, is here to give the board some background on the property. As the chairman said, there are 2 lots, lots 17 and 20. Lot 17 is a very large lot which contains a retail center and an adjoining commercial structures, which are really not associated with the retail center. The retail center operates on its own, but it does have the 2 sets of improvements on it. There's also a small section of that lot which fronts on Ralph Street. Right next to it, there's lot 20, which is a small, long vacant lot, which used to be residential, is now vacant. So the proposal is, and I think from a good planning standpoint makes sense, we're going to take the area with the retail improvements on it and separate that from the other commercial uses. We're going to take that long vacant lot 20 and add that to the commercial lot. So it's not a small, long lot. And then we're proposing to separate the lot that's on Ralph Street into a separate lot, which is adjoins other residential properties. I think the result's a more functional set of lots in accordance with their current uses. And with that, I have Mr. Dorso here if we want to introduce him and swear him in. He can answer any questions and give the board an overview.
Okay, proceed.
Mr. Dorso, please raise your right hand.
And now I think you have to unmute yourself first.
I'm old, but I figured out how to do that.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last name.
Al Dorso, D-O-R-S-O.
Thank you.
Mr. Dorso, would you just give the board an overview of what the lots are currently used for?
Yep, there's equipment storage to the south side, and there's a large warehouse to the north of that.
And to the north of that is the retail center.
And then further north is the retail center, yes.
And the retail center operates completely separate from the rest of that lot that you're proposing to subdivide?
It does, yes.
And there's sufficient parking on the retail center to support the retail center?
There is.
I really don't have anything else. I think it's fairly straightforward. If the board has any questions, obviously, we'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, any board members have questions? Or comments they'd like to make? If no board members, anybody in the public out there have a question or comment?
I do. Michael Sheldon, 47 Floyd Street.
Go ahead, Michael.
I just want to make a comment, a statement. I want to make sure that everyone on the planning board is aware that the retail area on this overall lot now includes a pre-K school. We just opened up the Joshua Hornblower pre-K building and hope to be there for at least the next 30 years. So since this board is probably going to be hearing a lot in the coming months with potential redevelopment of this reverse subdivision, I just want all of you to be aware of the fact that whatever you decide to do with this property in the near future, to be cognizant of the fact that there is now a pre-K building as part of the Belleville School District on the premises. So that's all the comment I wanted to make tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sheldon. Anybody else in the public? If nobody else has questions or comments, someone like to make a motion for the approval of this subdivision?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Please call the roll.
Chairman Venero,
Yes.
Mr. Vanda,
Yes.
Mr. Bowles,
Yes.
Mr. Corbo,
Yes.
Mr. Graziano,
Yes.
Ms. Guamon, Ms. Guamon? There.
Sorry.
That's a yes, right? Okay. Ms. Innamorato,
Yes.
Mr. Zangari,
Yes.
Mr. Guyen's.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate it.
All right, next up, we have PB 2008, 131-137, Greylock Avenue, block 9001, lot 31. The applicant, Belleville Operating Inc., is proposing a minor subdivision to divide the current lot into two lots.
Good evening. Let me know if you're ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, proceed.
Marina Perna, attorney at 189 Franklin Avenue in Berkeley, representing Belleville Operating Inc. in connection with this application for minor subdivision of the property at 131-137 Greylock. It is a vacant lot. By way of letter of denial issued by Mr. DiLorenzo on May 12, 2020, he invited us to come before the planning board to present this application, which involves no variances. My clients are available. They're on the Zoom call. They are the officers of the corporation, Mr. Ilya Schlockman and Mr. Richard Schlockman. And also my client is available to answer questions.
Marina, you're cutting out a little bit.
Okay.
Can you repeat the names? I missed the names. Thank you.
Officers of the corporation are available on Zoom right now. Mr. Richard Schlockman and Mr. Ilya Schlockman, Schlakman. Okay, and they're present, as well as our expert, Mr. Gary Marmo, who prepared the plans that were submitted with the application, and also via, they were submitted as exhibits to this hearing via the internet. Can you hear me all right?
I hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
In connection with what we're presenting tonight, we have a vacant piece of property, as I've said. The part which my clients would like to purchase from the owner, Tax Living Trust, represented by Mr. Robert Gassion. They'd like to purchase the half, which is the lower half, that's evidence on the plan that was submitted. It would be the new lot, 31.01. It is currently in disarray. It's forested. It would need to be cleared. However, at the present time, my clients do not intend to develop it. They are the owners of the corner property at 605-609 Washington Avenue on the corner of Greylock, and therefore, in keeping with the desires of the township officials, whenever a major project is presented to planning board, they were seeking this property to reduce density for the project that they are going to present to this board in a few months. So it is their intention mainly to present this subdivision tonight, this minor subdivision, leave the property the way it is, clean it up a little bit, and then come back with the application for their project, which they intend to build at 605-609 Washington Avenue at the corner of Greylock. Mr. Gary Marmo is available to take us through the dimensions of the site. If you'd like to swear him in, I'll invite him to do so.
Yes, Michelle?
Yes, sir, please raise your hand. All right, can you say something so I know I can hear you?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay,
Can you hear
thank
me?
you. Here you are. I couldn't
Got
see you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last name.
First name Gary, last name Marmo, M-A-R-M-O.
Thank you.
Mr. Marmo, would you like to tell us about the dimensions of the lot? What you're proposing, we're proposing for lot 31.01 and 31.02, et cetera. Take us through the design.
Okay, it's basically a single lot being subdivided into two. The overall size is approximately 150 by 90. It's a little bit of a obscure, or not a perfect rectangle. The lot line that's going to create both lots is close to being in the middle of it, not exact middle. One lot will have 6445 square feet. That's the remainder, the one to the northwest. And the one to the southeast will have 6349 square feet. So very close in size when the subdivision is completed.
And again, are there any variances associated with this application, Mr. Marmo?
No variances per the ordinance.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Does any board members have a question for either witness?
I actually do. You said the use is actually not going to be, the land is not going to be developed or anything. You're just going to clean it up and everything. But in your application to the planning board, your future use of it is a parking lot. Can you explain that to me?
Yes, at the present time, since we're not presenting a plan for a parking lot or anything, at the present time, we had agreed, or it was suggested to us, we just leave it the way it is. It will be cleaned up. This property, which my clients would like to purchase to reduce density for projects at Washington, would eventually be presented to this board to, at that time, to look at drainage, lighting, parking. But right now,
Marina, you're cutting out again a little
Marina,
bit.
if you could slow down a little bit. Sometimes the Zoom doesn't keep up. If you could just slow down your speech a little bit, might help.
there is a terrible storm in this area, and I'm afraid the power is going to go out. I will go slow. So,
It's coming down here too now.
to answer the question again, this lot will not be developed at the present time. it will be represented as a parking lot for the project that we're going to present to this board, 5-609 Washington Avenue, corner of Greylock. Okay, so currently it's going to remain.
Wait, Marina, hold on, Marina. Ray, you're making some noise that's drowning her
I'm
out.
sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, Marina.
Why we are before this board is because it would enable us to move forward with the closing of the lot. If this lot is not owned by my clients at the time they present the major application, it would significantly impact the density. So they're moving forward, really taking a chance in buying something, buying a lot that is needed for a project one block away. But it is not their intention to develop it in terms of putting any structure on it. All they're ever going to do is use it for a parking lot, which will be represented to this board at that time.
I understand. I just wanted to clear that up. I was a little confused.
Of course.
Does any other board member have a question or comment?
I'm a little confused. So you want to subdivide this lot to make it into a parking lot so it will help your other project. Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Okay, so why not just buy the whole entire lot instead of subdividing it? I mean, that will give him more parking space.
Exactly.
They will have enough parking space above on Greylock. That hasn't even been presented. This is going to be extra. However, the owner of this lot, which is Mr. Tatz from the Tatz Living Trust, needs the upper half of the lot. He owns a piece on Washington Avenue. He was only willing to sell half.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, clears it up. Other board members, question or comment? Is there anybody in the public with a question or comment?
Yes, I do. Michael Sheldon, 47 Floyd Street. I just wanted to ask, does this application have anything, potentially anything to do with the recent planning board approval of the project on the corner, the southeast corner of Washington and Greylock? The board recently approved I think it was 18 or was it 22 mixed-use units on that corner where the former Julie's Bar now stands. Is what's before the planning board tonight, is this in any way going to impact, potentially expand the already approved project on that lot?
No, this project deals specifically with 605-609. And to give you a better understanding of where it's situated, it's the gas station property across the street from the Walgreens on the same side.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
You're very welcome, Mr. Sheldon.
Anybody else in the public have a question or comment? If not, Ms. Perna, are you done? Anything else you'd like to say?
Nothing left. Thank you, Mr. Venero.
You're welcome. If there's no further questions, would a board member like to make a motion for approval of the subdivision?
Make a motion.
Second.
Corinne, please call the roll.
Chairman Venero,
Yes.
Mr. Banda,
Yes.
Mr. Bowl,
Yes.
Mr. Corbo,
Yes.
Mr. Graziano,
Yes.
Ms. Guaman,
Yes.
Mr. Nogarado,
Yes.
Mr. Zangari,
yes,
Mr. Guyen's.
Yes.
Okay, approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
I would just like to thank everybody for their patience with our new Zoom format for the foreseeable future. It's got some kinks in it, but it seems to be working. And I just thank everybody for being patient. And with that said, would someone like to make a motion for adjournment of the meeting?
Yeah, before that, I'd just like to thank Ray, yourself, and Corinne for doing a great job putting this all together and keeping it whole. So I'll make a motion to close.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye,
Catherine.
guys. See you later.
Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.